Hello everyone. In the name of Allah, we start our first lecture on the topic complex numbers. Complex numbers are very important numbers which are of the form a plus b iota. This type of numbers we call them complex numbers. For example, we have 2 plus 3 iota. This sign is iota. Okay, if we compare a is equals to 2 and b is similar as in the place of 3, and this I or iota is still same. So we conclude that a is real part, since a is equals to 2 is a real number, 2 is a real number, so a is real part, and b is an imaginary number. Now what is imaginary number or imaginary part? Okay, whatever number that is with iota sign, this symbol I or iota, we shall call it imaginary part. And here I is pronounced as iota and its value is -1. This square root -1, sorry. So this square root -1 we are unable to solve with calculators because calculator deals only with real numbers. So whatever answer that is beyond real number, calculator gives undefined or math error. If you put this in calculator, square root -1 or square root -2, any number with square root negative sign, your calculator will math error. So these numbers are beyond real numbers, we call them complex numbers. So complex number is the bigger set than real numbers. With our first question, which is our main topic today, simplify. Question number 1, simplify and express in terms of iota y. Okay, part number 1 is square root -3. We have to write it in the form of iota y. Okay, since square root -3, we can write -1 multiply plus 3, which can be written as square root -1 multiply square root 3. And since I already told that square root -1 is equals iota, this one, so we shall replace it iota multiply, or we can skip multiply sign, square root 3. This is answer. One more step we can add. It is better to write always square root 3 and iota at the end. It's better. However, both are correct answers. Okay, second part is 6 square root -4. Okay, now we have 6. We can write in the square root -1 multiply 4, which we can write square root -1 multiply square root 4. We are splitting the powers. Here we can write, for this we can write iota, and square root 4 is 2, so we can write 6 multiply 2 iota, since multiplication is commutative, so 6 2s are 12 iota. This is the answer. Next we have third part, square root -4/9. We can assign this middle sign to numerator, -4/9. Here -1 multiply 4, and we can also split the powers for numerator and denominators. And next we can split the powers, square root -1 multiply square root 4 and divided by square root 9. since square root minus 1 is iota and square root 4 is 2, and in the denominator square root 9 is 3. We can write it in the standard notation 2 by 3 iota, which is our requirement. Next we have 4 part negative times square root negative 20. Okay, now we have two negative signs, so be careful. This is external negative sign, and within the square root we can write negative 1 times 20. We have negative times negative 1 square root multiply 20. We have negative. For this we can replace by iota, multiply square root 20. So we have negative times square root 20 and iota. Since we can simplify square root 20 as by taking the LCM of square root 20, LCM 2 times 10, 2 times 5 and 5 times 1. So we have a square of 2. We can write here 2 power 2 and 5 times iota because of the LCM. We have 2 2's and 1 5. So here we can write 2 square multiply square root 5 iota. This square cancels the square root. So we have negative times 2 square root 5 iota. Here we got the answer. And next we have fifth part 4 minus square root minus 60. We can write it 4 minus square root minus 1 multiply 60. Then we will have square root negative 1 multiply square root 60. Square root minus 1 we can write it as iota, and square root 60 we can simplify by taking the LCM of 60. So here 2 cross 30, 2 cross 15, 3 cross 5 and 5 cross 1. So we have a square of 2 and 3 times 5. So we can write here 2 square and 3 times 5. Since only square will be cancelled with the square root, so this square cancels square root. However, 3 times 5 is 15 will be still within the square root. Okay, sorry, there is a mistake. This is negative sign. So 4 minus 2 square root 15 iota we can write like this way. Now here we have a proper complex number where 4 is the real part, this is imaginary part, and this is unit of complex number. Okay, we have last part for question number 1. Square root negative 8 times square root negative 2. We can write it as square root negative 1 multiply 8, and also we can write multiply sign square root minus 1 multiply 2. We are going to split the square roots. Negative 1's multiply square root 8 multiply again square root minus 1 multiply square root 2. Okay, for this we can replace by iota square root 8 and multiply. For this again we can replace by iota and square root 2. So we have 2 iotas, iota cross iota, and square root 8 we can write 2 square root 2 times square root 2. Okay, iota times iota is iota square cross 2 as it is, and square root 2 and square root 2 gives 2. We have iota square is -1. So -1 times 2 times 2 is 4. We got -4. But here in the question we were asked about to write in iota y form. So we can write here 0 iota. Since 0 times iota is still 0, so we can write as 0 iota.